Hey guys, so today I want to share something with you about comfort zones and this idea um, I used to have, and I think many people have it, that growth happens like in a steady way, and our development is happening in a steady linear way, and that once we step out of comfort zone, then that's it, we have grown and now we can become comfortable again. And if you want to work towards something, that you have a goal, it's like, okay, every day it's like linear upward process. I just watched this video interview with this very, very inspiring human being. His name is David Goggins. You might know him. If not, I encourage you highly to have a look at his interview and maybe even at this book. And he was sharing something. He became very famous because he is like high endurance athlete, and he's just also has a very inspiring life story. And he basically he went through so much struggle as a young boy. When he was 5 and 6 and 7, he was living in, he's black. He used to live in the southern states of America, where there was a lot of racial discrimination. There was actually the Ku Klux Klan, I believe it's called, where they would actually really actively, well, um, kind of, yeah, fight black people and put them really down. And he was growing up always being called nigger, and there was no encouragement from any side. He was just by himself basically his whole childhood. So he went through all that, and he was really weak when he was an adult, like mentally, physically. I mean, he was fat, he was mentally beaten, and but he pulled himself out, and he's sharing the story. And he's like, now he's like this super high athlete, high performance athlete, and he's so strong and he's successful. And now people think that it was like a steady growth for him. And he shared that it was like always like up and downs. And he was sharing that, still until today, he's still having so many times in his life, in his day-to-day life, where he feels uncomfortable, where he's scared, where still something of that younger 6-year boy is in him, and every day he has to fight it again. And this is like something which struck me, because I noticed this in my life, that I would, think that, oh, last year I really worked hard on something. I did all these and these things to work towards my maybe business goals or personal goals, lifestyle improvement, health goals. And now I should be fine, I should be able to lean back and rest. And then I realized, but I still have this issue. I have that issue. I still am uncomfortable getting up morning at 6 or 5 o'clock. And by now it should be all smooth, it should be all easy. I should be there. And there's still so much struggle in my life. And then sometimes it can become discouraging, because you think, why is there still struggle in my life? Why am I not comfortable, like steadily? And I think this is like, that's such an important realization to have, that you realize if you're really on the path of growth, then it's never ending, because our growth, hopefully, will always be continuing. And to embrace that struggle, that daily, weekly, monthly, yearly struggle, I think you can naturally do that if you realize it's just part of the process. There is no growth really without some form of struggle in some way. And I think the real pain, and that's the important part here, the real suffering, and this applies to many other parts of life, the real suffering is not necessarily the struggle. The real suffering we are creating in our mind because we think it shouldn't be there. You know? The feeling of being uncomfortable in certain situations, the feeling of having to put in effort, the feeling of being challenged, that is actually not necessarily the problem. The problem is us thinking, oh, it should be easy. Oh, I shouldn't feel that way. Oh, that challenge shouldn't be there. That struggle shouldn't be there. It should be smooth. It should be different. And once we make up that idea, that judgment in our mind, then it becomes really a suffering for us. Then it becomes like, it puts us down. It takes our energy away. But if we realize that, oh yeah, there's a challenge. Oh yeah, it's gonna be messy. Oh, I'm taking action today. Oh, and there's stuff happening which isn't supposed to be happening. Why is this happening? Oh yeah, it's all part of the process. This is the craziness of life. This is what life is throwing at me. This is all part of my wonderful journey of growth, of going through my life in a way that I'm growing. And I just take all of that life throws at me and I use it, like the steel that is burned in the fire to become something wonderful, or the diamond that is, refined, the stone that is refined to become a diamond and becomes really shiny and valuable. That process is dirty, it's messy. It's painful, and that's not a problem. It's how it is. And the moment we realize and accept that's how it is, I think it can become much more joyful. I have to remind myself often of this, and because sometimes I fall into that trap as well, where I'm entangled in it, and I think, okay, why is this coming up now? Like, why is this not going smoother? Why do I feel that way right now? And then it becomes like pulling me down. For example, you want to make a sales call and you think, okay, I'm going to make 5 sales calls, and then none of them are going well. And you think, why? It should be going well now. I have trained this. I've done this before and it doesn't go well. And then you put yourself down. But when you realize, oh, this is still going to be messy, I still have to keep doing it. And you keep doing and you keep doing, and you detach yourself from the outcome. You say, I just keep going, whatever happens. And then successes comes, growth comes. Or with your practice, if you do yoga or if you do other forms of practices with your health, food habits, eating habits, lifestyle habits. And you see, oh my God, today it was so hard for me to get up. It should be easy. But you think, oh yeah, it's part of the process. It becomes like a lifestyle. It becomes a completely mental shift. And so I want to encourage you, have a look at his book, have a look at this video. But most importantly, if make a choice for yourself. What's the ultimate important thing for you? Is it growth, or is it being steady at a comfortable level? If it's growth, then comfort should not be a priority for you, and you should not fall into the trap that life should just be comfortable. If you live too long in comfort, you will get bored. I'm sure you have noticed this in your life, and you're not fulfilled. If you are on the other way, on the road of growth, you might not feel comfortable, but you can feel a high level of fulfillment. So guys, I want to hear from you. What is the top priority in your life? What's the role of growth in your life? And in what areas do you feel discomfort on a regular basis? I would love to read it from you. Please share it in the comments. Share some aspects where you feel discomfort, because I think that's a good sign. It's not a bad sign. I would love to hear from you guys. And if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. Share it with a friend if you think it's valuable. And make sure you subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. I put up new videos every single week. I see you next week. Bye guys.